Hi guys, I'm Daniely Rios and I'm here with Felipe Morita. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to teach you how to do forehand loop. For a full course of Killerspin Skill Academy, you can find more information at killerspin.com.
That's perfect, Danny. And talking about forehand loops today, forehand loops is like one of the most important shots in table tennis. I use it all the time. Daniely also use it all the time. It's a little bit different than forehand counter because we're gonna brush the ball a lot. So we're gonna generate a lot of topspin. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna show a 3D viewer where Biba is gonna be demonstrating the forehand loop, and then Daniely and I are gonna demonstrate on the table so you guys can see better as well. Let's do it?
Let's do it.
So, first thing here, I want to see the position. The position of Biba, you notice that different than the forehand counter, Biba is a little bit farther away from the table. So she's about 3 feet from the table, so she has more room to execute the forehand loop. Notice that her standings, how much like her feet are wide, like apart, and how much she's bending her knees, and she's ready for the shot. She's gonna do the back swing, and then she's gonna follow through. Notice that the weight when she starts is always on her right thigh, and then she's gonna transfer her weight to the left. Yes, so you can see the whole motion that she's using her torso, her legs, and her arms, and following through with her wrists to generate a lot of topspin on the ball.
Yes, and talking about position, you can see how her right foot should be slightly further back than your left, and your knees should be a little bit bent. Your weight, as Felipe said, should be leaning forward to the front parts of your feet, and your upper body should be relaxed. In forehand loop, you're going to use more transfer weight and more rotation, and your bat, as you can see, is going to be closer, and you need to accelerate faster at the moment you impact the ball. It's really important to brush the ball and not hit it.
Correct. Exactly what Danny said. Like when you do the forehand loop, you're gonna have to use more of like force. So you're gonna have to like twist your whole body and use your energy more like explosive, so you can generate this topspin. Notice that Biba looks very relaxed when she's like loading for the shot, but when she's like actually hitting the ball, she's really like pressing and squeezing the racket and generating like the whole power coming from her whole body. So, you want to demonstrate that on the table, Danny?
Yeah, let's do it.
So before we start showing with the ball, I want to talk about the position, right? The main thing about the forehand loop, you're gonna need more room. So instead of staying here like I was doing for the forehand counter, I'm gonna do a half step back. So I'm gonna be a little bit farther away from the table. I'm right-handed, so my right leg is a little bit back, and my left leg is in front. I'm gonna bend my knees. My upper body is gonna be leaning forward. Notice that my feet is like kind of pointing perpendicular to the table. It's not like same parallel, but it's like perpendicular to the table. So I'm like looking in the other direction. So I can load, and I feel that my weight is on my right thigh, and then I prepare. The racket starts on my knee, and then I turn my upper body, and then I'm gonna release for the shot. Let's demonstrate. So, as you see, I did like 2, 3, 4, 5 loops, but at the beginning, I do recommend you start slow, and we can do just one at a time. So, for example, Danielle is gonna serve to me, and then I'm just gonna practice one, and then she's gonna serve it again, topspin, and then I'm gonna do it again. So I can really focus on loading for the shot and then releasing on my power. Notice that the sound is different. If I hit flat, it sounds like more hollow, like more flat. If I brush the ball, the sound is different. Then I'm really like gripping the ball on the top of my racket. It's very important in the forehand loop to close the angle. I would say like if you open, it's very easy for the ball to go out, right, Danny?
Yeah. And I think it's really important in forehand loop to use your whole body. So as you can see, Felipe, when he does the motion, he's using everything. Sometimes people only use their arm, and that's when you get injured and you don't also transfer a lot of power when you impact the ball. So it's really important to use your whole body. And also when you want to add more spin to the ball, you need to use more your wrist.
Correct.
So that's, Really important.
Yeah, and if you just use your body or you just use, like, you don't use just your arm, don't use your body, it looks a little bit weird, you know. So I always like to say it's very important when you practice in front of the mirror. That's how I start practicing, because it's a kind of a complex shot because you're generating a lot of topspin. Plus, you have to be very aware of your whole body. So try to like do everything attached. So like when you're, let's say I'm ready position. When I'm loading for the shot, I bring everything in, like my arm, my upper body, and my lower body. And I'm almost like crunching here, so I can get low, and my elbow going low, so I can generate this topspin. So I get low, so I can generate this topspin. That's very important, and it starts slow. Like instead of trying to hit the ball too fast, you can start just by going like trying to feel the brush. Here, feel the brush. Feel like that you're gripping the ball, and you can see the ball doing kind of like an arc. Like it's very important. That's why we call forehand loop. So the loop on the table. If you see the ball is going too flat, probably you're not generating a lot of spin.
Yeah, correct. We can also practice forehand loop, your technique, with multi-ball.
I'm gonna do some multi-ball so Daniely can show this stroke as well. So first thing, we're gonna do topspin to her so she can practice the forehand loop. So I'm gonna bounce here, and then she's gonna do it. I'm gonna start slow because that's how I want you guys to start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, and do it like many times because this is more complex than the forehand counter. So I do recommend you guys to do as much as you can until you feel that you're like smoother with your stroke. Like, you know, it's easier for you to generate the spin, and then you can start accelerating, and then you can go like kind of this speed, like that's more real when the ball comes back, you know. Then you can go a little bit faster so you can, you know, get better and better with your forehand loop.
Yes. If you don't have a person, for example, you can also practice in front of your mirror. As Felipe said, that's gonna help you to see if you're doing the technique correctly. And that's something that, for example, when I started, I used to use the mirror a lot to see what I was doing.
Yes.
If you have a camera, for example, you can record yourself and you can see your mistakes and what areas you can get better.
And one of the most important things when we're doing fast is you be aware that no matter if you make the ball on the table or miss, you have to recover to the rally position, to the original position to play. Because a lot of times people, they practice the loop, like a multi-ball, and they do the loop, and they're watching, and they're checking too much if they put it on the table. And the ball is already here, and they always feel that they're kind of like getting late, and they start like stepping back on the table, which is not the ideal. I always wanted you guys, like, you do it, no matter if I put it on the table or not, come back to the position, come back to the position, come back to the, always reset, and waiting for another ball. Because in the game, like, even though you hit a good shot, if your opponent returns, you have to be ready for that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. That was a pleasure kind of teaching the forehand loop, one of my favorite shots. Next week, we're going to teach you the backhand loop, which is also like Daniely's favorite shot, probably. Yes. So see you guys next week, and thanks so much for watching.
See you guys, and if you want to join Killerspin Skill Academy, go to killerspin.com.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you.